Hey everybody, it's Berg back at you with some more belt talk, and today we're going to take a look at WWEShop's version of the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship. Let's take a look at the United States Heavyweight Championship title belt from WWEShop.com. And this belt, actually, specifically this belt, the one I'm holding, I actually bought from Walmart, believe it or not. Fanatics was running a sale on Walmart.com, which allowed me to get this belt for under $200. Which I thought was a pretty incredible price considering I think I paid about $200 for a Figures Inc. version of this belt back in 2000, 2001, somewhere in that time frame. I've always been a huge fan of this belt. You can see the influence of Reggie Parks in the design, very similar with the banners, even the shape, the columns on the sides of the plate, very similar to the WWF Intercontinental Championship title, the classic Intercontinental title. Now, this belt is modeled after the style that came later in WCW. In the mid-90s, when this belt debuted, this was a 5-plate belt, had a longer main plate with a little more detailed leather work, and a really beautiful belt. No matter which version that I would see on TV, I always just loved the look of this belt. WWEShop did a great job with these plates. The one thing I would say, though, for this belt specifically, there's not much of a curve on the main plate. Side plates, I don't believe, are curved at all. But they did a great job with the detailing of this belt. So, 4 millimeters plate thickness, both main plates and side plates. And the level of detail is really incredible. You can see the intricate patterns that fill up the negative space in these, the columns on the side of the main plate here. You can see that there's a nice depth change with the eagle. And again, you can tell that there's a nice depth change in the map of the United States. I always thought that the WCW logo at the top needed something, whether it was paint or something to just help it stand out a little. I always felt like it got lost just as a gold on gold look. So whether we put some texturing in the backfill here or whether paint should go there, I guess is debatable. But one of the things that I really like about this belt is the depth of the lettering in the banners. Really helps give some weight to the overall look of the belt. Now, WWEShop isn't known for having the best paint. In fact, I think, what do we got here? We got a little blemish on the E here. So they're not known for having the neatest or most detailed paint work. But for a mass-produced replica, can't really complain too much. Here we see a little more on the M there. But overall, a nice job giving you a clear, crisp depiction of the font, the words, the letters here in these banners. Same with the stars. The stars really pop, the gold on black. You can see as we focus in a little more, just the level of detail that WWEShop was able to get with the eagle feathers and the design of this belt. One of my bigger complaints that I do have with this belt, and it was this way with the Figures Inc. version, 20 years ago, and with the original belt, I always just felt that these side plates were a little noisy, that the texturing and the detail in the background made it difficult to read the font, the World Championship Wrestling font, as well as even pick out that there's grapplers in there. I always thought there could have been a cleaner look to these plates, would have really made this belt look a little better. One of the other things that might make sense for this belt would have been to paint the lettering and or paint the grapplers. I'd be curious to see what this belt looks like as a dual-plated belt, where we have more of that silver behind the texturing, or maybe even filling in the void space around the eagle. Let me know some of your ideas that might help with helping the logo stand out more, or making these side plates a little more visible and clear. Okay, so looking at the strap, you've got your standard polyurethane strap from WWEShop. The straps over the years have become, I guess, a better simulation of leather. Back in the Figures Inc. days, these things were just like hard plastic almost. They would crack, they would break. They weren't very pliable. So the straps have come a long way. I do enjoy the fact that you can get some good representation of the tooling on these straps. So here we see kind of your standard clamshell tooling that follows the main plates, the strap around the main plates. Also, you've got the indented or tooled snap boxes with a plain finish. So none of the, I think it's called Western style tooling, or the textured tooling that we would typically see in the snap boxes of a lot of Reggie's belts, or even a lot of the other makers' belts. And you can see no gold tip, obviously, on this belt. Taking a look at the back of this belt, you've got your standard WWE stamp patch here. And we've got exposed screws. You know, no backing on the WWEShop version of this belt. But they do give you a textured simulated leather on the back. Now, for me personally, I don't, one way or another, if this was smooth or has this texturing, doesn't matter too much to me. I don't think it changes the overall look of this belt. Now, again, with the strap, we can see, you know, it holds its shape pretty well. It's not super flexible. It's still, you know, these polyurethane straps are still kind of thick, but in terms of where these straps were years ago compared to where they are now, night and day difference. Even the feel of the straps is a lot softer. And so I feel like I can live with this. I don't necessarily need to have this re-leathered, especially since my belts are going to be on display more often than they're going to be handled. All right, so there we have it. Just a once over here of the United States Championship, the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship, as produced by WWEShop.com. Okay, so after taking a look at this belt a little more closely, I'm reminded why I really appreciate this belt and love having it in my collection. It's just that classic design. You get that feel that Reggie's design can provide, that nostalgia feel, brings you back to kind of the glory days of my childhood in watching wrestling. The WWEShop's production value has really, over time, has increased. And so you notice that, again, with the texturing in the void spaces. You see that with the depth. You can see that with just about every aspect of this belt. Providing us with 4mm plates does wonders. I always felt that back in the Figures Inc. days, the 2mm plates were just, they were too thin. They weren't substantial enough. They didn't allow for the detail to show through in the plates. And so this I'm really pleased with and think WWEShop did a great job with. Thanks everybody for taking a look with me at the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship.